My name is Minty Bets, and I'm honored to be joined by the UFC featherweight champion, the great Alexander Volkanovski, presented by FanDuel. I'm going to get some insight from Alex regarding the upcoming UFC 316 card taking place in Newark, New Jersey. We've got two titles on the line here. Bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili defending his belt against Sean O'Malley. This will be the second time these two will meet inside the octagon for the title. And of course, we've got the women's bantamweight champ Julianna Pena going up against Kayla Harrison, who has made quite the splash since entering the UFC. Alex, let's dive right into it. When you look at this card top to bottom, what is the first matchup that gets you fired up? Because we've got Kevin Holland, who fights like 6 times a year. We've got Patchy Mix making his UFC debut. We've got Australia's very own Quillan Salkhild, who is coming off a phenomenal UFC debut. What is one matchup that you're fired up for?
Yeah, it's well, you mentioned a few good ones. So I'm looking forward to a lot of the fights on the card. But it'll probably be the main event. I do want to see what happens. Obviously, Merab did very well in the last one, fought a perfect fight, was able to shut down Sean O'Malley. I want to see if he's able to do that again. You know, we're seeing Sean O'Malley, who's just taken this one really serious. He's going to know the fighting style coming his way. I want to see what adjustments he's made. So I'm really looking forward to see how that fight goes down.
Yeah, mentioning Merab has a reputation for breaking opponents mentally with his cardio. So, from your perspective, how do you prepare for an opponent like Merab who thrives on wearing you down and has a takedown heavy approach? I mean, can you see this one ending differently with Sean edging out a win here, or do you think it's most likely going to be Merab winning?
To be honest, I think it's going to be a bit of the same, like with the takedowns. But the thing is, I'm quite confident to say that I believe, if Merab wins, it goes all 5 rounds.
Mhm.
That gives Sean O'Malley a lot more chances to maybe find, the chin or find the shot. So that's, Sean O'Malley's got great striking, great accuracy. His shot selection is very, very good. Again, Merab, with his game plan, was able to sort of freeze him a little bit and make that very hard for him. Is that going to happen again? I don't think as much. I think his style is still very, very hard to prepare for. But I think Sean O'Malley is probably going to make some better adjustments. But will it be enough? That's what I want to see. But he's got 5 rounds to do it. He starts back on his feet. Even when he does get taken down, I'm sure he's going to bounce back up. That's one thing about Merab. I don't think a lot of fighters are used to. He doesn't care if you get back up. He'll just reshoot and take you down again. And just, you know what I mean? And just the whole point is just to freeze you, get you worried about the takedown. That's why you can't pull the trigger and just wear you out that way. That's why I thought, he would be a bad matchup for Umar. Because I thought that's, to say that right, it was Umar. What that was a... I got that right, Umar?
Yeah,
His
Umar
last one? Yeah,
Nurmagomedov.
that's it. Yeah, we thought so. My bad. But yeah, so like even with that, I thought a lot of people like, what do you mean? He's used to the grappling style. Yeah, but is he used to someone, not caring if he doesn't control you on the ground? He's just going to, let you fight back up, take you down again and go, that's going to be a lot more wearing on you. I still think Umar's going to struggle. He's going to struggle there. I think you're going to see his gas tank start to slow down if he doesn't catch Merab. And that's exactly what happened. So it's very, very, very hard to prepare for. But I know for a fact Sean will have chances because that's just how this fight will play out. But is it going to be enough? Will his adjustments be enough to actually get the finish? If not, I see it being a decision for Merab again.
Yeah, I feel like Merab, he just keeps shooting with a smile on his face. And this one for Sean, he has to find a big moment here. So I completely agree with you. Now, given the current landscape of the 135 division, is there anyone in this division you believe could be the champion by the end of 2025, not named Merab or Sean? Because we've got Petr Yan, we've got Umar Nurmagomedov, Song Yadong, Corey Sandhagen, Figgy. We got some great fighters here.
Yeah, we do. That's one of the toughest divisions, I believe. I think when it comes to skill, I think there's so many fighters that have incredible skill in that division. So I love watching the Bantamweight division. And then, we've got Patchy Mix, who's going to be coming into the picture as well. And incredible fighter. I'm sure we're going to talk about him more later. So that's another guy. The only thing is, yeah, the top, anyone could be champion in the top 10, I believe. That's how good they all are.
Yeah.
But, it's a very, very competitive division. But, Merab's style, no one's seemed to crack it just yet. So, again, Sean O'Malley gets the next chance. Not too far away. We'll see what happens. But I could still see Merab being champ by the end of the year. But again, so many fighters that can definitely take that because the division is absolutely stacked.
That is right. Now, on to the co-main event. We've got Kayla Harrison. She is a huge betting favorite against the current champion, Julianna Pena. I mean, is this fight pretty straightforward, or do you think we can expect a big upset from the champ here?
I don't think it's as straightforward as people think. I think, Kayla's going to be very strong, going to be very good. I am still picking her to win, but I just think Julianna Pena is she's tough. She's grindy. She's going to take it to the later rounds. 5 rounds as well. Like, let's see how them later rounds look. I think it's going to get there. Look, Kayla Harrison, she's definitely tough enough and strong enough to get the finish early. But I just think Pena might be able to survive them early rounds, and then we're going to see a fight. I think them early rounds, you're going to see Kayla being too strong, but I think, Pena might start to grind it and make it more of a fight. So I'm actually really looking forward to this fight. I think this is going to be one of the fights of the night. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens there because Kayla is incredible. So she's going to be tough to beat, that's for sure. But Julianna, been for a title, 5 rounds. I think that gives her a chance if she survives through her toughness.
Yeah, I think Julianna can edge it out. And Julianna's been known to drag her opponents into deep waters too. So it's going to be interesting to see how Kayla does in those 5 rounds. Now, Kayla Harrison has not missed weight in her career, but she cuts a lot of weight to make 135 pounds. I believe she says she naturally weighs like 165. As a cook, what is the leanest, most disciplined meal you would cook to help a fighter like her cut weight without losing power? Like, is it going to be bland chicken and rice, or do you have something else?
So is this fight week or is this during camp? So because this is very,
Ooh.
very important. So
Give me both.
okay, so during camp, look, I'm getting right into this. I'm getting to the details. Let's go. So during camp, we want to diet. We want to make sure our calories are still, we're going to be under the calories so we can lose the weight, but we need to make sure we're getting the energy we need for training. The last thing you want to do is not have the energy, not be able to perform the weeks leading into the fight. Like, preparation is key. So you're going to need plenty of carbs. So yeah, you will have it clean. I'm guessing she needs to cut a lot of weight, so the calories need to be low. So maybe cut some of the fats and replace them with carbs. So you've got the energy to train, bring them calories down by not having so many fats. So them sauces you're going to have to avoid and things like that. But during fight week, that's when, all right, we'll stay maybe away from sauces because of the sodium, but now we can, go more high fats and high proteins. Carbs go out the window. We need to start losing that water, so we can't hold on to water. So sodiums and carbs are out. So it's going to be good. Maybe some chicken wings. Try and find some creative flavors that doesn't have sodium in it. And if you've got the right people doing it for you, cooking with Volk, we could get some incredible flavors. We can make it happen. And actually, nowadays, you're getting a lot of these sauces that somehow taste salty, but they don't have sodium in them. So I don't know. So we're getting quite lucky. Now you can have some really tasty food fight week because of that. So very, very thankful for that because everyone knows I love my food. And so if I had to do it, chicken wings. I reckon we could do some nice chicken wings fight week. Definitely. Again, there's plenty of fats in there. That's all right. We can have the calories. We don't, you know what I mean? There's only going to be a few meals, so we can bring the calories up a little bit. We'll avoid the carbs. So that's where I'm going. See, I told you I'd break it right down. Look, I overanalyze absolutely everything, even when we're talking food.
I love it. All right, now we got to talk about Patchy Mix and him coming from another promotion. Now on the main card of UFC 316. I find it a little I get a little wary when I'm personally betting on a fighter making their UFC debut, but Patchy Mix has an extensive resume here. How do you think that fight's going to play out against Mario Bautista?
Yeah, look, I think I believe Patchy is like up there, one of the best in the world. And you're right, you're never proven completely, or maybe you are, but we're probably not going to be able to accept that fully till we see you, I guess, in the UFC doing his thing. But we know he's world class. He's a world class jiu-jitsu guy. Like, he's one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world. I've had the pleasure of grappling with him as well. Incredible grappler. So that his grappling is world class. He's still got great strike. He's very good at mixing it, even the wrestling and all that sort of stuff. I believe he puts it together well. But we know he's at least world class to grappling because he's proved it many times. He's proved it against the best in the world. So it's just now, all right, MMA, let's see against the UFC mixed martial artists. But I mean, he's been very successful in other promotions. And again, he does have the tools to back that up. And I think it's going to be a very tough fight for Bautista. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I think he's going to come out and put a bit of a showing on.
I totally agree. Okay. I don't know if you have any opinion on this, but Kevin Holland and Vicente Luque, I personally think that could be fight of the night because we know Kevin Holland always shows up and shows out. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be an interesting fight. Watching Kevin every single time, it's going to be pretty exciting. What type of sort of flavor he's going to bring there, right? With a bit of a chat and smiling on his face. Awkward, striking, very dangerous because of that. Even if it gets to the ground, he's throwing up wild stuff. He's even getting some submissions as well. So it's going to be a tricky one, I believe, for both fighters. But I'm really looking forward to this one. I believe this is up there for fight of the night as well. I think they both have a chance of winning. So it's really good to see. I think these two, man, look, when was the last time Vicente fought? Because I know he hasn't been as active as he once was, I guess. But I mean, so it's going to be interesting to see how that is. So I'm really looking forward to that fight. But yeah, Kevin Holland's always fun to watch. And this is one for, maybe fight of the night picks.
So now I want to kind of lean into your interests and your home life. I want to know, really, out of your 3 daughters, right? Who is the pickiest eater in the house?
Oh yeah, that'll have to be my oldest, Ariana. She's definitely the pickiest. So I've got another. Yeah, so we've got another girl on the way actually. So we'll have 4 girls in the household soon. So, but yeah, I would have to say Ariana. She's quite picky. I've always said that I wouldn't. Even when I had mates when I was younger, that would be picky. I'm like, what? Sort of. I'd never let this happen, but here I am with picky eaters in the house. But I don't know, I love my food. It upsets me because I'm like, you are missing out on so much. When you're older, well, I guess you understand when you're older, you're just going to absolutely love food. Everyone loves food. That's how so many people connect in this world. You don't understand how much you're going to love food. Give it a chance. If you don't like it, all right, don't eat it. At least give it a chance. It might be your new favorite, but they don't want to take on that risk half the time.
They do not. No, I have a kid as well, and she only eats 4 things. I'm not kidding. Spaghetti, chicken nuggets, strawberries, and chocolate. That's it. So I understand the struggle here.
Well, there you go, man. I think that's a universal thing, right? I think you named pretty much the main things.
Yes, exactly. All right. If you had one dish you could eat for every day for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's a tricky one. All right. So I know these are meant to be quick fire questions. There's no such thing when you're talking to me. Everything I ramble. I like to ramble. I like to go into detail. So the thing is, so what I think of when you say this is like, wait, nutrition needs to come in, right? If it's going to be the same meal, I need to make sure I'm hitting all the targets, right? I need to be healthy. Maybe a burger. A burger, you're going to have your lettuce, tomato. You're going to have your carbs. You're going to have your proteins. I think, you hit all of them. So, and it's good, right? You can have very good burgers. So you'll enjoy it and you get to hit all your macros. So here I am. See, just calculated and everything.
Perfect. Now, in the household, who is the better cook, you or your wife, Emma?
I mean, I do a lot of the cooking. So I'll have to say, I mean, she actually does all right as well. I mean, I don't know if she's just playing the long games. Like, I'll pretend I can't cook, so Alex has to cook everything. So and I enjoy it, though. I enjoy it. So it's all right. But she's more by the book. So, if she's doing a recipe, it has to be to the point. Where me, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I can do it this way. Like, I can chop and change if need be. So and I guess I usually chop and change even when I don't need to. I probably should stick to a recipe, but I'm like, no, I'll do it this way. And a lot of times me trying to do that, I can ruin a meal as well. So when it comes to a recipe, I reckon she does better because she'll actually follow it to a T. I'm gonna go rogue usually. So, but yeah, I'm pretty well rounded. I like to cook everything.